Good morning and welcome to AUSPACK. We're here on the first morning of the show. My name is Wayne Robinson, editor of PKN Packaging News, and I'm here with Craig Reucassel from the ABC's War on Waste. Craig has just led a panel seminar on what's good for business is what's good for the environment. Craig, what would you say are the key takeouts from that panel show?
I guess the key takeouts are clearly that there's a lot of work being done at the moment to look at what's recyclable, what's compostable, and for companies who are actually starting to ask the question, because they want to put a label on it with the Australasian recycling label, they're starting to ask the question, is this actually recyclable? Is this actually compostable, right? So that question has been asked now, and it's a difficult question, and I think it's good it's been asked, and it's going to have a big effect going forward on packaging, essentially. Yes. So, you know, if you're making packaging, you have to be able to answer that question yourself, you know. It was interesting to hear from the audience, people saying, how do we get our hands on, for instance, the prep tool, which is what the businesses are using to assess this. They need to be able to get their hands on that as well. I would say they should be able to get it for free, but that's not the case. But, you know, they need to be able to get that so that they can answer the questions themselves, because it's frustrating. I think that was the first big takeaway, is that the questions have been asked, you have to really know the answer. Is it compostable? Is it recyclable? The second big takeaway, though, is that there has to be a waste stream there for something. The question is not just, is it recyclable or compostable? The question is, for instance, Coles was saying, we won't say it's recyclable unless it can be recycled, if it's actually being recycled. And that's the big question, is there the actual waste stream there to deal with that? And for instance, when it comes to a lot of compostable products, it's often really difficult to actually find a waste stream there. So, yeah, look, a lot of people are engaging with it. I think from a consumer perspective, you're not seeing the flow out as much as you would expect yet. But hopefully, given there's so many people asking these questions, hopefully we'll start to see that actually happening in shops. And you'll start to, you know, see the Australasian recycling label. You'll start to see better products coming in, better packaging out there.
And one of the interesting things that was talked about from the panel was they not thinking of like for like in recycling. So they talked about polypropylene being used, recycled into roads, for instance. Yeah. And do you see the circular economy from what the panel was saying as something that we're progressing towards?
Look, there's a lot of talk about the circular economy. There's a lot of kind of, you know, you're starting to see governments engaging with it. It still needs a lot more assistance to occur. Like, you still need to make it so that there is that pull-through factor for recycling, for instance. There's got to be, and I think that needs I think it would happen a lot quicker if there was assistance from government in terms of saying, you know, we'll give you an encouragement if there's recycled content used, or we'll give you a tax break or whatever. There needs to be some kind of economic pressure towards circular economy, and that's not really been done enough at the moment.
Yeah, that was one of the points, wasn't it, at the panel there, that the governments aren't investing enough in recycling.
Yeah, no, exactly. There's a few spots where you kind of need a bit more investment from government, a bit more leadership to try and help it along. Things are happening. You're seeing, as I said, a lot of people talking about circular economy and looking at it, but it's not happening fast enough.
And finally, Craig, as an outsider, as an analyst to the packaging industry, do you feel that the packaging industry is progressing at a rate that is acceptable to society?
No, look, I think society's expectations at the moment are really quite large. And look, I understand the complexities of changing some of these things. It's harder. For instance, you know, if you were to get rid of all plastic immediately, you'd have food waste problems. You know, it's a difficult thing to change. Yes. Plastic is difficult to substitute because we've made it such a kind of integral part of our supply chain and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, I know it's hard to do. I don't think it's progressing fast enough for the community. The community has a kind of, I think we've seen the effect of plastic waste in our, you know, marine life and all that kind of stuff, and people are like really quite shocked by it. So I think the faster people can move at changing packaging and, you know, meeting that expectation, the better it will be, because there's a real demand for that to happen out there. And I know it's not always easy, but the quicker you can do it, the better it'll be.
Okay. All right. Well, Craig, thanks for all your work.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the panel this morning.
Cheers.
And this is Craig and Wayne Robinson signing off for this issue.